Hi, my name is Indra. I'm a skill development trainer and a placement consultant. In the last couple of videos, we have seen about the meaning of an interview and we have shown you another video on purpose of an interview. Today, we're going to talk about how to prepare for a job interview. The first step towards the interview preparation is about knowing something about the company. It is a definite question most of the interviewers would ask you, what do you know about my company or what do you know about our organization? Now, as I said earlier, behind every question, there is a reason why the interviewer is asking this question. So, one of the important reason I would say why the interviewer is asking you this question about what do you know about my company is he wants to know whether you have done some homework or have you done some research about the organization before you have walked in for an interview. So it's very, very important for all of us to go ahead and study a little bit about the company, what business do they do or the nature of business, which locations are they present, and probably you can also find out the name of the management, including the name of the chairman or the CEO or the managing director of the company. And the next step is you should know about the job role. For example, you may be applying for a job related to customer service or technical support or sales or finance or marketing. So it's very important for all of us to go ahead and study what is the nature of job the company is offering you and is it relevant to your educational background. Now, for example, if you are a commerce graduate and so probably you must be looking for a job related to finance, accounts and commerce. If you are an MBA postgraduate, you may be looking for a job related to an HR or marketing. If you are an engineering graduate, you may be looking for a job related to IT or you may be looking for a job related to your core engineering subject. So please do go ahead and do some research about what is the kind of job or what is the nature of job role, what the company is offering you, and does it make relevance to what your educational background is. It's a very important step we need to follow. And the next step is it is very important for all of us to go ahead and do some research about what are the skills what the company is expecting from you. Now, I talk about skills, it could be technical skills or soft skills. It's a very important step as a part of interview preparation. So I've already told you the second step, that is studying about the job role. Once you know about the job role, what the company is offering you, so important step right now you need to follow as a part of interview preparation is that you need to go ahead and understand what are the different skill sets the company is offering you. So you need to go ahead and study the technical skills what the company may be expecting from you, and you may also have to study about the list of soft skills what the company is trying to get from you. So in general, I would say that one of the very important steps to follow when you're preparing for an interview is to go ahead and study the list of skills what the company is expecting from you. And the next step is you need to compare the skills what the company is expecting from you to the skills what you possess. It's a very important step as a part of interview preparation. Now, in the previous step, I had just mentioned that you need to make a list of skills or you need to understand what are the technical or soft skills what the company is expecting from you. Now, once you have a list of the skills which the company is expecting from you, you need to go ahead and compare your skill sets to the expectations of the company. It's a very important step. By doing this, you will get an idea as to what are the skills the company is expecting and what are the skills you have. So once you've done this analysis, what we can do is that you will come to know about what are the skill sets which you may not have or you may need to develop. So this is a very important step you need to follow, which will help you prepare better for a job interview, and you will be able to perform very confidently by following these steps. And the next step is you need to understand what is the interview process with this company. Now, one of the biggest reasons I've come across for the people to get nervous, especially freshers, I've come across a lot of freshers who have curiosity, they have anxiety, they're tensed because you don't know what is the interview process. The question that comes to everybody's mind when you are at the interview location is that how many rounds do I need to face? What are these rounds? And now all this nervousness and anxiety is quite natural, but at the same time, The reason we are getting nervous, we are getting curious is because we are not aware as to what are the interview rounds the company will conduct on me. And so one of the important steps you need to do when you are preparing for an interview is that you need to know what is the interview process with this company. So which is the first round, which could be the first round, which could be the second round, and which could be the third round. It is not important for us to understand and learn about how many rounds, but what is important is that you need to know what are these rounds so that we can prepare accordingly. And the next step is you need to know about your resume. We call the document as a resume or curriculum vitae. So one of the most important steps, along with the previous steps what I've told you as a part of interview preparation, is that you need to know your resume or curriculum vitae very well. Now it has happened, and out of experience I'm here to tell all of you that many job seekers, they present the resume, but then we are hardly able to present what is written in the document. So it becomes very important, because resume is about you and the details about you. So not only preparing a resume, it also is very important for you to go out and understand your resume, and you should be able to present your resume very well. Now I would like to spend some time here. One of the primary and important part of a resume is your career objective. You should know your career objective very well. Career objective is a statement as to where is that you want to take your career to in your professional life. So know your career objective very well. So it's one of the important part of your document. Now apart from career objective, anyway you're going to present your educational qualifications. Next is your technical skills, and then you're going to talk about your strengths, you're going to talk about your goals, you're going to talk about your projects and internships, you're going to talk about your work experience if you have carrying any work experience, and so on and so forth. So ensure that you know your resume very well, because a question will definitely come on your resume, and every word that is written in a resume may be cross questioned. So one of the most important step I would recommend everyone to do is that know your resume very well. And the next step is practice well before you go for an interview. So as I was suggested in the previous steps of part of interview preparation, you need to go out and practice well. So practice in front of a mirror, practice with your trainer, and practice with a colleague. So practice on different rounds, practice presentation skills. So the more you practice, the more confident you will be. One of the suggestions I can give you today is when you are preparing for an interview, give your presentations and in front of a mirror as I just suggested. Go ahead and record your audio, go ahead and record your video, and go ahead and see that. And so probably you'll be able to judge your presentation skills, and probably you can correct your mistakes if any mistakes are happening. So practice will definitely help you. So please do go ahead and do the relevant practice before you go for a job interview. It's one of the important steps of interview preparation. And the next step is, I would recommend all of you to go ahead and arrange your documents. We all know that it's very important for all of us to carry the relevant documents when you're going for a job interview. Most of us go for a job interview with just a resume, but today I'm giving you suggestions as to what is that you need to carry. It's a good practice if you're carrying all your relevant documents. Document number one is your educational documents. Could be of your 10th, of your intermediate or polytechnic, and documents related to your degree, and then documents related to your post-graduation. Along with this educational documents, carry the interview call letter. You may have received the interview call letter or an invitation to attend the job interview by email. So make sure that you check your mails, and if you have got the mail from the company, then go ahead and take a printout, and that's one of the important documents I would recommend you to go ahead and carry along with your educational documents. Now, not only carrying the documents, it becomes very important for all of us going for an interview to arrange the documents in order. So because you will not have any problem in pulling out the relevant document in case the interviewer is asking you to show him or her a particular document. He may want to see your degree certificate, or he may want to see your bona fide certificates, he may want to see your documents related to your schooling and any other document. So please arrange all the documents in order. So first keep your 10th, after that then your intermediate related documents, then your degree related documents, and then your interview call letter. And so whatever necessary documents it's required, so go ahead and make sure that you have all the relevant documents and keep it in an order. So arranging the documents in an order is a very important step you need to follow when you're going for a job interview. And the next step is to wear a right attire for a job interview. Now, going for an interview is very, very important for all of us, and going for an interview with the right attire is also very, very important. Now, depending on the type of interview, depending on the weather, also you can wear the suitable attire for an interview. Now, if you're a boy or a girl, so go ahead and wear the right attire for an interview, but don't wear flashy colors. And then so interview dress code is very, very important, which we need to follow when we're going for a right interview. And the next step is to have a good rest a day before the job interview. Tomorrow you have a job interview, so the previous night I would recommend all of you to go ahead and go to sleep early and then get up early, so that you will not look restless at the interview place. So it's very, very important to have a good rest a day before a job interview. And the next step is to arrive 15 minutes or 20 minutes early before the interview starts. You've been given a time of say 10 o'clock to be present at the interview place. Go ahead and ensure that you are present 15 to 20 minutes early. My recommendation here to all of you who are going for a job interview is that in case you're not sure about the location where you need to go for an interview, a day before or enough time before the interview date and time, I would recommend you to go ahead and see the location, see the place, and see how far is it from your location. You also need to plan your transportation. In a recent interview, one of the students was asked how was it easy reaching my office? Okay, and the answer the student gave is that I'm good at my planning and organizing. I did not know about this location, so yesterday itself I came to this location. So because I've done that in advance, it was very easy for me to reach the interview place today. So go ahead and do some planning and organizing before you go for a job interview. If you know the place, very good. If you don't know the place, go ahead and see the location very well in advance, so that it will not be difficult for you to reach the office on time, and you will also be present on time. So my recommendation is go ahead and be present at least 15 to 20 minutes before you reach the interview place and the interview time. And the next step is, now I've given you so many steps as a part of interview preparation. Now what I would recommend is that go ahead and make a checklist of all the points, and before you leave your house, before you start for the interview place, I would recommend all of you to go through the checklist and see if you have completed all the activities which you're supposed to do before you go for a job interview. So please do follow the checklist, and I'll be presenting the checklist at the end of the video. And the last but not the least, the last step I would give you here is that ask relevant questions in the job interview. Now once you finish the interview, definitely you will be given time. The interviewer would ask you if you have any questions for the interviewer, or in case he is not asking, you can go ahead and request the interviewer, I have a question, can I ask you? But ensure that you ask relevant questions. So these are the steps which you need to follow when you're preparing for a job interview. I hope this video has been very useful. I'll come up with another video very shortly. Thank you.